Hey everyone, I'm back. I'm Samantha and I'm a therapist and I'm creating a video every day for a year. This is video 294. Thank you so much for being with me as usual. And I wanted to emphasize the thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Remember to say thank you to everything around you and everything inside of you. It will change your life. And remember that if you stay in a state of thankfulness, because thankfulness is a state in itself, if you stay there, you really can't feel other things around you. It's kind of like you're going to stay feeling good. You're not going to feel the pain and suffering that you might have felt had you not been thankful. So, and remember, suffering is a choice. Challenge is going to happen, and pain will happen, but suffering is a choice. And we have to remember that too. So I wanted to share that because I think a lot of times we are suffering because we're in our heads too much and not in our hearts enough. And I watched such an amazing interview with Alex Hormozi and Tony Robbins earlier, and you should check that out if you haven't seen that. Just search both their names and it'll pop up on YouTube, of course. But it was awesome. Alex is more analytical in his mind more. And so Tony was kind of having him learn how to get into his heart more and connect there so he could feel more fulfillment. And I just thought about how many people don't feel fulfilled in their lives. And I've thought about this over the years. It's like I may not have some of the things like a family and a husband anymore like I used to, but I have fulfillment in other areas. And then the people that seem to have all the things that I thought that I wanted, they don't have that like career fulfillment that I have. So I really love to talk to people about getting into their hearts and learning what that feels like, first of all, to actually connect to your heart and then to actually feel what fulfillment might feel like. So if you could design your life in any way, what would it look like in the next 1 year? And 2 years and 3 years? What would you like to see happen in your life that may not be happening right now? And what kind of person will you become in the becoming of your new life? So I was doing a lot of thinking about that. And Alex was talking about, well, how do you get into your heart? And he was like, right there, you just laughed. You were just smiling. That was the heart Alex, and when Alex is trying to figure things out, he's in his head too much. And he's this awesome entrepreneur and awesome, he owns all these businesses and all these things and he's done very well, but he's in his head too much. And so we tend to overthink and overanalyze, and it gets us in this spiral, almost puts us in a state of suffering sometimes because we're not really living. It's almost like we're in survival. So that's something that I had to learn about myself too, was I believe my whole life I've been in survival. And so I'm having to unlearn those habits and thoughts and beliefs that are underneath that. Because still to this day, I live off my calendar. I do, because I wouldn't remember who's my next client, what do I have going on today? I love my calendar, but I have learned that, okay, I've got to simplify so I don't have as many things to maintain, because everything that you have to maintain is taking your mental bandwidth with it. So I was like, that's why I dismantled my garden yesterday. I was like, well, I love this, but it's 30 plants. And if I want to go all in on my new life, then I've got to say no to some things right now so I can say yes to other things possibly later. And who knows, in a few years or a couple years, I might be into gardening again and get the indoor garden going again. Who knows? But for now, I decided, okay, what is taking my mental bandwidth and what is making me suffer? Like what is taking me from feeling at peace and flexible and just like not bothered. And that was one thing on the list that was bothering me, because I had to, trim the plants, and it takes a lot of maintenance, especially when the plants are older and you're trying to fit in new plants where some of the old ones are done for, and it wasn't working for me anymore. So I had to decide, okay, what am I going to say no to so I can say yes to something else? And so part of that was I decided in my heart, I went into my heart and I said, okay, heart, tell me what to do. Because I at first felt bad about it. I was like, I don't want to kill the plants, no. And I saved some of them, but I had to let go. And sometimes we're holding on so tightly that we don't even know we're holding on tightly, and we've just got to let go. And so I encourage you to let go of something today. What would that be? Might just be an old nasty thought that you have about yourself. So remember that we are creating our experience moment to moment, and our belief systems are running our entire experience of our lives. So really get in touch with what you're thinking, what you're believing, and what you're assuming. But start with you. Don't worry about anything else outside of you yet. You really don't have to worry about too much outside of you yet anyway, because once you shift your identity, everything kind of falls into place, which is so cool. There's not that much actual work we need to do. It's mostly just work on our thoughts. What are we thinking? Your words and your beliefs, everything is like a magic wand. So it's like, what spell are you going to cast today into your life? And I just decided, I was like, I've got to simplify even more. I've got a very simple, easy life because I've created it that way. I've created systems. But for the next phase, if I'm going to go big, 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 like way bigger than I've ever thought before, that I was capable of, then I've got to shift some things around, and I've got to free up the space where I know that I'm just going to fall right into it. It's like I'm clearing the runway so that I can take off really fast whenever it's time, which it's becoming time. So think about what you're assuming too. We'll go back to, law of assumption. It's like we've got to change only ourselves. And as you see yourself differently, you're going to see your whole environment differently. You're going to see, oh my gosh, maybe I need to throw this away. I threw more stuff away today. The trash can is full. It is like the fullest it's ever been actually today. It is so full. And I am so full. I feel so fulfilled just for making these new decisions. I got so many things lined up over the last week. It is just insane. And our niece is not moving. She told me last week, I forgot to tell you all, she's not moving. And I'm so excited. And if you're watching this, I love you. And I'm so glad you're not leaving anymore. I have my buddies still to go shopping with and go to do all these adventures with. So I'm so happy about that. That was just such a blessing that I found out about. And so again, it's like, what's holding you prison in your mind? Like what is keeping you there that's not letting you let go of control of something or connect to your heart? Let's think about that. I mean, I love to see people laugh, and I love to see people laugh. I think that's the main thing. I love to see people laugh and smile because I think that that's when you're being your true self. And I think whenever we're angry, obviously we're not being our true self. We've let something take over. And so I got triggered yesterday and I said something and I apologized for it this morning because I said that my pride and ego were coming out because I was triggered, and I acknowledged it in myself. I didn't have any issue doing that because I felt guilty. And then I was like, wait a minute, that's not really who I am. I feel the need to explain this. And then I said, this does not align with who I'm becoming. So I took the trigger and I analyzed it. And I was like, why did that bother me so badly? And then it was up to me and my responsibility to process, hey, this is why, this is what got brought up in me. This still exists in me. So watch out for your triggers around you too. And notice what comes up in you and say, you know what? Thank you, trigger. Thank you, blob of energy, for showing me what was still active in me, still alive in me. And my goal is to just be like stripped of as much stuff and thoughts and all this kind of stuff to where everything is visible so I can have clarity, so I can start transmuting even more than I've already done. And once that energy is transmuted, it's like it's dissolved. We don't need it anymore. And then we can live from our truth. And So remember that back to survival mode too. And defense mode. Defense mode, I'm going to need to do a video on defense mode. I think that's a good one. Because I feel like we all feel attacked or something whenever somebody says the smallest thing. Everybody gets so defensive. So I think I need to do a video on that. That would be an interesting one. But survival mode, just keep yourself in check about that, because we do live off our to-do list a lot. And I know in the past I've said make a to-don't list. That's a really powerful exercise to do. And on that one, should be lots of thoughts that you think that don't align with where you're going. Those gots to go. And extra activities you do, maybe habits. Check your habits. What are the time leaks? I've had you look at your, audit your life for time leaks and energy leaks. What are the things, because there's been a couple things over the years that I've invested way too much emotional energy into and trying to analyze things or overthinking, where I could have been taking that energy and putting it into my business. And I didn't do that. And so therefore I don't say I'm behind, but I'm years behind of where, I could have been. But timing is perfect. So there is no coulda, shoulda, woulda type of thing. But I'm noticing how much energy was spent on these certain areas where I could have put that energy and mental bandwidth towards what I was creating. So we want to remember that we're creators. And there's something I put in my notes about that. I don't remember where it is, but like pulling your attention into creation versus like overthinking and overanalyzing. Like put your attention into creation. I'm a creator. Let's put my attention here. So remember self 1 and self 2. Which one are you being? Because who you're becoming is the most important thing to align to. Your old self is very valuable though. It's going to show you where your leaks are, basically. Where your time leaks are, where your energy leaks are. Those old thoughts that pop up, those old belief systems, really get in check. I also came up with, oh my gosh, on my walk again, it's always on the walks or in the shower. It's mostly on the walks though. But I remember this feeling that I feel today, like not today, but like in this time of life, I can still feel this feeling that gets triggered that I felt, and I connected it back to probably when I was probably 16 or probably even younger, actually. It was probably way, way younger than that. But I remember two things actually that I had forgotten that created this feeling back then that I can still feel today. And it's like this feeling of grief, sadness, loneliness type of thing that was kind of probably running in the background for a long, long time. And so my point in telling you all this is when you let go of something, you'll find clarity in a new area that maybe you wouldn't have seen. So remember, you can't perceive what you're not the vibration of. So it's like maybe the act of letting something go will create a new energy inside of you. And then you're going to have clarity in an area where before you couldn't have clarity in that area because you were blind to it, because you weren't in that energy. So it's just so interesting to think about, what are you holding on to that you could let go and then have more clarity in another area. If you can't see something like the end of something, or you think you're incapable of something, just like put all that aside and say, I wonder what would happen if I let go of this thing, or I stopped thinking this thought and thought something different. I wonder what could happen. Like, it must be so big because I can't even see the end of it. So, and I thought about that too. I was like, man, this particular thing must be super amazing if I can't even see the steps to get there yet. Like, that's pretty awesome. Like, it's so unknown and so huge. And so it's just fun to do the, creating a scene in your mind of the end of what you're wanting as far as you can see it. Like, well, okay, here's a what if scenario, and just say, well, what if this and this and this could happen? What would this look like? And then you train yourself, you teach your body the emotion of how that would feel to have that. and you practice that. And the whole point of doing a scene in your mind, creating that in your mind, is to teach your brain and body, okay, this is what gratitude feels like, or this is what love feels like, or this is what excitement feels like. And it gets you in the state of feeling that way. And then if you can do that with your eyes closed, then you can start practicing it with your eyes open. And you live from that emotion and that feeling all day long. That's the goal, as much as possible, of course, you know. But yeah, there's so many practices that we can do to align with ourselves. So it really is connecting to yourself. That is the most powerful thing you can do. And one more thing I'll leave you with is distractions, eliminating distractions. Figure out what is distracting you from living your life. And I was trying to understand my life instead of building it the way that I wanted it. Now, it wasn't that I wasn't, still building. I was building, but I was trying to understand too much, I think. And instead of just placing the bricks where they needed to go without thinking so much. So remember to just turn off your thinker. And if you're not going to turn off your thinker, then use your thinker to create scenes in your mind that produce an emotion. Think about what you're wanting and why you want it and how it would feel to have it. And then that's when you have it in your mind, it's done. Your desire is already fulfilled. All you have to do is align your energy to that and not doubt it. I know Esther Hicks, Abraham, they have said, all you need to do to manifest anything is to not doubt. It's literally to get out of your own way. You don't have to do anything except not doubt the bricks you've already laid out, the house you've already built with the bricks, or the runway you've cleared. It's ready to go. The plane just needs to get on the runway and go. You've already cleared it. But if you're thinking the opposite of what you're wanting, then you're putting, you're muddying the waters. You're putting more challenges there than need to be there. So you want to have clean, pure thoughts about what you're wanting and what you're desiring. And I like to throw in there, why do I want it? And why would that feel so good to have that? And remember, there is no there. So when I get this, I'm going to feel this. Well, remember, there is no there. Once you get there, there's going to be another there that you're going to wish you could get to. So it's like we just practice being happy and at peace right now with no matter what is going on around us. I promise you, as I've practiced this, especially over the last year, for sure, nothing feels better than feeling that internal peace. So once you feel internal peace, happiness, joy, excitement, all those things, I'm excited to get up out of bed every day. Once you feel those things, it's like the challenges of life just grow you. They don't put you in a freaking emotional coma and, you're not like down spiraling for days in a corner crying. We don't need to do all that stuff. No, not at all. So we use the challenges to grow us. And yeah, if you just continue to stay in the mindset of, I am building internal peace. That is the goal of this year. I'm building internal excitement and joy and love. And then everything, what's crazy and funny about that is, once you're there in that state, that's whenever you have more clarity about what steps to take to get you to all the places you desire to be and to get you to the person that you desire to become. So that's the coolest part about it. I love it. So that's my goal, is to teach people how to have those aha moments about themselves and to love themselves and to think properly to be able to get the life that they really, really want and be fulfilled in the process. Because again, like Alex, he has all the money in the world and he's got a great wife and he's got a great life in all areas, but he's not feeling fulfilled or excited. He's kind of apathetic. And so you have to, Tony Robbins said, have a moonshot, like something that is as big as the moon to shoot for, so that you're excited to get up every day and you're fulfilled and you're helping people in a way that maybe you didn't know you were helping people before. And so have something that really excites you in your life that you do, I say on a daily basis, but always have something to look forward to. And my goal is for everyone to be excited about their life every day, no matter what they're going to, you know, whatever job it is, like be excited about it. The Science of Getting Rich talks about how even if you don't like your job, do your best in the environment that you're in, and it will end up opening up for you to where you can exit that eventually and move right into the place where you're meant to be after, that's next for you, the next step. And so that's the first step towards riches, is like just thriving in the environment you're in with your vision ahead and focusing on that vision, but doing the best you can with what you've got where you are. So we've got to just practice this and know that, hey, I've got a vision and I'm working towards it. This is my new identity. I'm shifting it to this, and this is where I'm going. And show up for yourself daily, consistently, and you'll get to wherever you're wanting to go once you do that. So, end of rant and ramble today. Thank you so much for listening. If this helped you, please share this with somebody else who it might benefit. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to. I'd love to have you here with me every single day. And remember, you're so loved. Pass it on to somebody who might need to hear that today or tonight, whenever you catch this. And remember to appreciate yourself, because what you appreciate appreciates. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.